Another type of filter that you should apply to this, which is the interest-based filters, which is I want to declare myself as a music lover, and I want to refine that filter to, I want to have electronic music from 95 to 97. So that type of filters is where I see the opportunity, and back to the question of where do I see curation in 5 years, that's what I meant. That's, the opportunity where people are going to be learning to play with those filters, which are going to be interest-based, where they're going to be able to fine-tune their interest, have tools to search based on their interest, and Google is one, but it's not discovery, it's search, so it's a pull mechanism. Here we're talking about push mechanisms. I declare my interests, and I've said I wanted to subscribe to electronic music from the 90s, and then I receive content based on that.
I was going to add one quick thing. You also have to think of things like clicking on Facebook likes and clicking on Google search results as a form of curation itself. You are curating your own personal interest by clicking what you like and and by the same token, not clicking on certain things, you're excluding things through curation. All right. Couple more questions. We'll go right back here. Yep.
Ashley,
hi, Ashley.
So, I'm curious what your thoughts are for education and social curation.
Education and social curation.
So that was one example I gave. We have lots of educators. I think just like journalists, they're a natural fit. There's a natural fit between curation and education, because a lot of what you're doing, as an educator, is actually curating what students should read, and we've had teachers, educators, professors, using the platform, giving us great feedback. I think there's a huge opportunity there, because the social engagement you get is also very appealing to students. I think just like what we discussed on the media, we want those media to be more engaged with their community and readers, not just be passive readers. I think part of the discussions I hear about the future of education is how do we make the students more participating in the whole thing. So, kind of building on my suggest button type of example, would it be great for a student to say, hey, I think this would fit in the class we're studying. So.
Yeah, we've also had a lot of people using Storify in education, and I do think this is a future thing, right? It's not now where you have to go digging through the library and find the book, and then look at the index, and find the page, and find that little bit of information, and dig it out, and that's the what you do when you put it in your school report. Now that all that information is kind of at your fingertips, and it's really more about how you put that all together, and then how you give context to that. So I think this is definitely, what we see. Why waste your effort on the busy work part of it, but instead really let humans do what they do best by adding that extra value, doing the analysis, doing the curation, the real human part of this all that adds extra meaning to these bits of information that you're pulling together.
So I don't really know much about the education industry, but we do have an Education Digest, which I read.
Nice blog.
So two things. One is obvious, which everybody probably knows about Khan Academy, which is awesome. I've actually started watching a ton of their videos. It's so amazing what that guy knows, all the stuff he knows. The second one, which I just learned about, is there's I think it's called the University of the People, or University of People, or something like that. What they're doing is they're curating and picking all of the best online content that's for free, that's educational focused, actually making a curriculum, making programs of it, and then opening it up so people can enroll. I think it's like $100 or kind of somewhere around that price point. And they just did their first enrollment. I think they're doing their second one already. Literally, they're starting a whole entire college off of free educational classes and stuff online, which is pretty cool. I hadn't heard about it before. So.
I just hope they don't make it off of Wikipedia. That's all I'm hoping.
What was the first site you said?
Khan Academy?
K-H-A-N, Khan Academy. Definitely.
Amazing. If you guys have go to Khan Academy.
We're going to do, I think, 2 more questions so that you can all go home at a reasonable time. We're going to start over here for questions.
Hey, Ryan's my name. Given that it takes massive amounts of traffic typically to monetize at scale through an ad, and if you're going to go the ad route, do you think curation-focused businesses have a different opportunity to monetize, or do you think it's the model is relying on uniques and generating lots of traffic?
Monetization. Because you know,
I thought that was going to be your secret question.
I knew someone in the audience would step up and ask the most important question of all, because, you know, businesses are supposed to make money, contrary to popular belief in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, so we learned this kind of by trial by error. So we tried advertising, we tried sponsorship, we tried education, we tried events. The thing that kind of we're doing now that is kind of working is we started this VIP product. So keep in mind, our digests are very business-centric, very like tech-centric. So we're getting our own readers who are engineers and designers who want to work for startups, and we're allowing in just the founders and engineers of the startups themselves into kind of this private network. Kind of like online dating where they kind of meet each other, and if anybody gets hired from it, we get like a recruiting and placement fee. So we're kind of acting as a recruiter but using a publication as the front end for it. A lot of this was people kind of asked us for this. Like, engineers and designers are coming to us and the companies are coming to us, and it's kind of a natural thing. Still early, still really new, but so far about 10% of our VAPs have already gotten hired from it, so it's kind of working so far.
Nice.
It's kind of not really.
I didn't hear a thing.
Yeah, we're a free service. We haven't started charging for anything. We have done some partnerships with various brands and different kind of sources who want to publish using the stories and push them to different channels. So, I mean, we could look at an ad model depending on traffic. We could also have certain sponsored sources that we could feed to these curators to be promoted to them. So we're really kind of early in all this and are still, figuring it out.
So on our side, I think we have an opportunity to charge for a premium offer for people who have like a professional usage of curation. We've actually discovered that by launching the platform. We hadn't thought about that model, but suddenly we had a lot of people saying, hey, you know, I'm using that for my business. I'm using that as, you know, as a professional, and I would pay had those and those and those features, like, you know, better analytics, or be able to have like more customization on the page and things like that. So we're going to start by that. And I agree with your comment on advertising, but I think if we're going to get the interest graph of people, just like the social graph has some value, the interest graph should have some value. I don't know what the form is going to be. I don't think display advertising will be the killer app, but there's some, you know, value if we have the interest graph of enough people, then there's some monetization. You know, look at what Cloud is doing.
Everyone know Cloud? Or who knows Cloud? There's just a good amount.
So, you know, Cloud is actually, you know, trying to build up, you know, through marketing services of some form, the idea that they can identify the right people on a specific type of subjects.
And for those who don't know, Cloud takes your social profile, social data, and figures out how influential you are among those groups, and creates a score based off your influence in social networks. So we're going to do one last question just as a reminder. I mean, we'll be up here for a few minutes after, so you can ask questions. We will be up here for a few minutes after.
That's a Jedi trick.
I know, Jedi mind tricks. We're doing them on you all night. Last question.
Thank you. Just for fun, Business Insider, HuffPo, Daily Beast, Jon Stewart, they all curate current events. Compare and contrast, like, dislike, since they're two actual journalists up here, and I'm sure you all have opinions too. I'd just like to hear your feedback, hear what you think.
Hear what we think about what part of curation.
Who do you think's doing a good job? Who's not doing a good job? Are they playing by the rules? Are they playing fast and loose? Who's going to last? Who's going to go down?
That's an easy question.
Who's going to go down in a hail of scandal?
News story.
Smart man. Does anyone want to start that one?
I mean, I like Jon Stewart. Yeah, I mean, he does a great job curating the topics of the day and giving context to it and being kind of critical of everybody, sure. I mean, I think the Daily Beast, that's another thing. Yeah, I read it every day because they give you this really...
I have a question and it should be asked.
Okay, what question should you be asking?
How do you feel that they're changing the way people get their news and learn about current events? And yeah, How do you think they're changing the way we get our news?
Well, I mean, it's not just them. I think everybody has changed the way they get their news. It used to be you had to wait for this kid on his bicycle to come in the morning and give you this, you know, packet of dead trees that has been smushed together and like printed with this nasty ink that rubs off on your fingers, and you didn't get any choice about what is in that package, and you had to get all the, you know, whatever. Maybe you only care about the coupons, but you still got this huge pile of paper with all this stuff in it. I mean, that's changed. That's gone. That model is dead. We can all personalize what we get now, and the question is that helping us become better informed or worse informed? Does this become an echo chamber? Is that a problem? Maybe that's always been the way things work. I think we're living through this revolution now, and we don't know how it's going to end up.
Well, then they're just an electronic form of the old news, because they're still feeding. It's not.
No, but it's not just it's not one size fits all. You can decide, I want to subscribe to the Daily Beast and get their, you know, top 5 stories they send to me every morning, because I think they do a good job with that, and I don't have to read the New York Times homepage. And half the time, what they say is their summary is good enough. So I think, I mean, now we're really in control, and the question is, what are the people going to do with this? Are we going to make sure we still know what's going on in the world and we still bother to read? What are our local politicians doing? What are local governments doing? How are businesses hurting the environment? Whatever it is, it's up to all of us now. We have that power, and, you know, power is dangerous. You have to use it wisely.
Well, the thing I like about the HuffPost example is that they reinvented the model by, you know, adding a lot more experts than the journalists that they could recruit, and that's still the latest participative model, because not everyone can write for them. But it's very interesting, and that's probably one of the few examples of value creation. You know, we talked about, you know, hey, maybe sometime the media will be profitable again. They're probably not profitable, but they created some value. So.
I'll tackle this, Chris. I think you have a world where people have shorter attention spans. When you have more information, more signals coming at you, it's natural that your attention span is going to shorten, because you can turn your attention to more things. So you see more Jon Stewarts in that becoming popular, because they make it entertaining, they make it more engaging, they make it more conversational, which makes it more interesting, which makes it more unique. Because we have a very big tendency to be reading something half of the page and say squirrel, and lose our focus. So I think you see it's a positive and a negative. It makes our news, it makes how we get information more entertaining, and they make it less of a pain to go through. But then there's obviously downsides to is this just turning into a form of entertainment rather than a source of hard news? But that's just something we have to work through and to figure out. So everybody, I think I would like everybody to give a round of applause to our great panelists. I also want to give a round of applause to the great people of Pierre-Simon for hosting us. And one last round of applause for you audience for your great questions and for your patience.